Out of all the machines I have here, I think I've gotten more comments about this thing right here. Hey guys, Rock here. Today we're working on a Suzuki Eiger 400. So this one right here is my Suzuki Eiger 400. This thing has seen way better days. Check these tires out. They are some smooth. Come around. I mean, she's just beat up. The plastics are all stitched together. She's pretty rough. That one's pretty smooth. Back ones are pretty smooth. I think she's done a lot of main road riding. But honestly, the cosmetics, I don't even care about. The big problem with this, the engine seized right up. So I don't exactly know what's going on with her. I think she ran out of oil. So we're not actually working on my Suzuki Eiger 400. We're working on this one. I do not own this one. This is a customer's machine. It's been here for a little bit, so definitely got to get to it. Battery's flat, so I do have a jump pack here. I'm going to throw that on there, see if we can fire it up. It did run when it first got here. He actually unloaded it non-running. I guess the throttle was sticking bad on it. So I guess this was having some problems running. He put a different carburetor on it, which we'll talk about in a little bit. But anyways, they tried to get it running right. Couldn't quite get it running right. But they did get it running better, I guess. However, the last time they worked on it, they took it for a little ride, and the throttle froze up on him and took off. And luckily, he caught it before it crashed, which is a good thing. But anyways, yeah, let's fire it up, get it in the garage, see what we got to do to it. Yeah, turn her on. We got juice now. Choke's already on. Go ahead and try to turn it over. Definitely revved up a little high. I don't know if it's this. That seems to be playing the throttle. Probably have to turn the idle adjustment down. So that seems better. Still idled up a little bit too high. It's backed out of there quite a ways right now. There we go, high range. Well, I was able to get it in here without pushing it, so that's a plus. But it's definitely not running right. It smells very gassy, so I don't know if that new carburetor he put in is getting too much gas or what's going on with it, but it definitely smells gassy. What I actually ended up doing to make it back here, I shut the fuel off over here to kind of take away some of that gas, and it would run a lot better when I did that. So it's definitely getting too much gas. Or possibly weak spark, but I'm going to lean more towards too much gas. And that throttle feels awfully funny. Like when I push it, oh, okay. Well, I'm glad I didn't give her full throttle out there because right now it's stuck. What I was told from the owner is he bought this with a Chinese carburetor on it, and it never ran quite right. So he looked into buying an OEM carb for a Suzuki Eiger, and it was just a lot of money for those. We looked at some of the forums online to see what people are doing for their Suzuki Eigers, and apparently a Honda TRX 450R carburetor will bolt right up to this no problem. And it's a lot cheaper than a Suzuki Eiger carburetor. So that's what he ended up doing. He bought a brand new key and carb for a Honda TRX 450 and he threw it on here. But we got to find out what's going on with it. Before I go ahead and do anything else, I'm going to go ahead, pull the battery, hook it up to my battery charger, see if it's got any life left in it. These jump packs are lifesavers. Seat out of the way. Pull the negative terminal off, positive. There we go. Get the wires out of the way. Then you're just left with this strap that can unhook easily. Just a Phillips required. Super Start. I get those from Napa. It was brand new in 2021, so you never know. Go ahead and check our voltage first. See what we got, if we got anything in it. Actually, yeah, it's got 8.4 volts, so there might be a chance. Go ahead, hook up our positive. Gotta get myself a new end for the negative. Nothing a good old pair of vice grips can't fix. Go ahead and give that a little charge, see if she can come back. So we're going to come back to this and see what's going on with the throttle, because that's dangerous. I don't know if it's the cable or what's going on, but like I said, it feels like it's full throttle right now. I would not want to start it up. So the boot was on and everything. Everything feels okay. But like I said, see, that should be out there, and it just wants to go back. So let's go ahead and pull this cover. We should be able to tell if it's the cable or the carburetor that's sticking. Screw out of there. Remove the throttle cover. Keenan. Alright, so I can't tell. Oh, there it goes. So was it the carburetor or the throttle? Let's open it up again. See, it feels really good right there. It's when you give her full throttle. When you give her full throttle and go past that point, it sticks. So, what's going on? I think I found the issue. Looks like this throttle cable is screwed in a little too far. It's hitting this throttle plate. I'm pretty sure that's the problem. Let me unscrew this a little bit and see if that fixes it. 10 millimeter. This exhaust is still a little warm right now. Back that off. Yeah, it's picking the throttle up, so I don't know if we get more adjustment or what, but let's see when I open this up. Oh, that was the problem. Yep, that was the issue. So I might have to cut this unless we have enough adjustment here, but it doesn't look like we have a whole lot. That means I'm going to have to go ahead and pull the cable off the carb and cut it. We'll go ahead and lift this up. Get this cable disconnected, just like so. It's getting hard at the end, probably because it was wearing into it. Alright, so we get that out. You can see right there where it was catching. Before I go ahead and cut that, I want to make sure there's no adjustment. I'm going to open up this throttle. I really don't think there's one under here, but I'd rather check and see that it's not than not check and always wonder. Okay, get this apart. This just comes out of there. So yeah, unfortunately there's no other adjustment. But what I could do, instead of cutting that metal down there, I could cut this plastic. I think that would probably be the safer bet. There seems to be plenty of threads in there, so I think that's what I'll do. I'm going to try to be very careful here. And as you can see, we didn't damage the cable at all, so that's good. I'll go ahead and throw it back in here and make sure we don't have any problems. This just sits in the groove just like so. And obviously that goes in there. Make sure we can screw it in. Perfect. That looks good to me. Let's go ahead and put this throttle back together. 1 screw, 2 screws. Get her lined up where we think it's good. Feels pretty good right there. Nice. Now we'll come down here, hook this back up, and get this screwed in there. Make sure it doesn't hit. Let's go ahead and hook the throttle cable up to make sure that doesn't bother. Which I don't think it will now. There we go. Alright. Feels good there. Feels good there. Feels good there as well. And as you can see, it misses. So that's perfect. Well, that's great news. It's working good now. I didn't put the cover on it because we're probably going to have to take the carb apart to see what's going on. Yeah, so we're going to pull the carb off. First thing we're going to do, pull the air box here. Loosen that up. Pull this. It's a Japanese machine, so 10 millimeters for everything. Alright. Pop that off. Okay, so that's good. We got a brand new air filter on there. Looks like it's pre-oiled, so that's a good sign. I'm not seeing a lot of gas back here or anything, but we're going to go ahead and pull this off. Get that out of there. What? You seeing that? You seeing what I'm seeing? This was on the front of the engine. This goes here. This is how this goes, but they have the air filter backwards. Yeah, because the hole should be facing there. So what's going on? This is gonna come out. Is it just literally backwards? Go through there. It is. That's probably why she's getting too much. Yeah, I can smell the gas. Probably why it's getting too much fuel. It's not that it was getting too much fuel, it was that it was starving for air a little bit. It was only getting air from this little section right here versus this whole filter. So I'm just going to throw it in just like this. Start her back up and see how she runs, because that might be the whole problem. Alright, so yeah. That's, I don't know if that's a first or not. I almost think I seen something similar a long time ago. Boy, won't that be good if it ran good now. Go ahead and tighten that up. Put our air box lid back on. Now, I've never actually owned one of these Suzuki Eiger 400s. My father purchased a brand new 2004 R.ovitt 400 back in 04, and that runs the same engine as this Suzuki. So I know what the engine is capable of. I think this machine is probably a little lighter than the R.ovitt. The R.ovitt sits up a lot higher. It's got independent rear suspension. So technically this thing should have better performance, I would think. But yeah, let's go ahead. Tighten this back up. That would be something. Let's go see if we get any juice in that battery, and then we can fire it up. You know, before I fire this thing up again, I want to check the oil. I haven't done that yet, so definitely be a good idea to check it. Should be fine, but you never know. I don't like running things too long without checking. Right. So it's on the stick, but it is a little low. I'd like to see it a little further up in the stick, but there is some in there. It's not that low, but I'm still going to go ahead and add a little to it. Should be good. That's a little better. Almost to the top. About 3/4 anyways. You can see I got the gas shut off. We're going to go ahead and turn that back on. Come back over to our battery here. I'll disconnect it. See what we're getting for voltage now. It's reading 11 volts, so it's a little better, but we're still not up to that 12 volts. Go ahead, throw this back on. This battery's got some life, but It's a little too tall, but it'll fit in there for now. It should certainly work fine to try it out. Seat's not going to be able to go down though. That's okay. We just want to make sure it's going to run fine. Hook up our positive. I really think this thing's got a chance now. Like the solenoid cover popped off. So far, so good right there. Well, that's not great. I just backed it out of here and the skid plate fell off. Must be there was no bolts in it. We'll be sure to take that off. Luckily, it didn't break it or anything, just kind of bent it. So I'll get it back into shape. Be sure to bolt it up. Feels way better so far. See, the speedometer's not working though. Yeah, still a little snow in here. Probably need four-wheel drive, which is this lever here. I don't think we need four-wheel anymore. That's great. She seems to run pretty good. I got her back in the shop because we're not done yet. Now that it's running good, the owner wants some upgrades. So if you like this video, be sure to be on the lookout for the next one.